Should the Heat trade for Washington Wizards point guard Tyus Jones? There are rumors suggesting that Washington would be able and looking to move him come February's NBA trade deadline, and I want to label why the Heat must be in on Tyus Jones at that deadline. Before we dive into it, though, the Heat, listen, they've lost 2 in a row, Saturday against the Jazz and last night late against the Clippers. The losing streak has to come to an end, and I want you to do your part. Hit that like video, get the good vibes in the air, and Miami will beat the Lakers on Wednesday, which we'll be doing a watch party for as well. But right now, just like the video so we can get that win. All right, Sam Amico had the report on Tyus Jones. He said the Wizards are believed to be open to trading point guard Tyus Jones as they believe he could bring back some picks and perhaps another young player from a contender, sources said. And I've been on the Tyus Jones train. I think this is one of the best point guards in the league, whether you want him to be the backup point guard on Miami, or hell, if you have to trade Kyle Lowry in the deal, he could be the starting point guard because what he's doing in Washington is just straight up phenomenal. This is a career year for Tyus Jones, the former Duke Blue Devil who came into the league with Karl-Anthony Towns in that Minnesota draft class, is finally hitting his stride in the DC. 12 points a game, 5.5 assists. I'm going to talk about the assist thing in just a second. But look at the efficiency. 53% from the field, basically 54, and 42.5 from beyond the arc. He is doing everything he's asked to do, and it's not like he's over volume too. He just knows his role, and he's able to play it to a perfect tee. And one thing, he does not turn the ball over. 5.5 assists a game. His turnovers are under 1 a game, and he has some even more insane turnover or assist-to-turnover ratio numbers in just a second I want to break down. But I want to get your thoughts on Tyus Jones. Do you want the Heat to trade for Mr. Jones? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm going to give my answer just after this ad break, so if it comes, answer the question down below and stay tuned for my answer. I'll say this first. Tyus Jones has a 6.7 assist-to-turnover ratio. Yes, you heard that correctly. And you see right on the parentheses on your screen right now, he has 176 assists this year, only 26 turnovers. You know how hard that is to do in the NBA. That just takes elite IQ, elite vision, and a way he could set up an offense. And you know Spo would absolutely love to have a point guard like Tyus Jones running the show. Now, there is one concern with him, and it is his size. But listen, Kyle Lowry isn't the biggest guard either. So if you are replacing Kyle Lowry or just having him come off the bench, well, it's not that big of a deal because your already point guard is undersized. But let's look at some advanced numbers for Tyus Jones because, well, that's what we do around here. He actually is not that bad at getting to the rim. He's really good at hitting that teardrop floater shot because when he gets to 10 feet, he has to finish amongst the trees, and he does it with a little push shot or a little pump fake and go, 62.5%. The pull-up midi doesn't shoot it often, 53.7%. That will absolutely play. The pull-up three, also not really part of his game too often, but he's able to connect when he does shoot them at 50%. And the catch and shoot three is everything that we're looking at here because when you're the point guard for the Miami Heat, you're going to pass it, you're going to move off ball, and then you're going to be ready for a relocating shot on the catch. 37.3% on 2.4 attempts. Those are numbers that will do well. And the one thing I mentioned about a career year for Tyus Jones, he's averaging 12 points a game. That is a career high for Mr. Jones. He has been excelling as he gets an expanded role on the Wizards. And I know it hasn't helped them win some ball games over there, but you get him on a winning team and a winning culture, and Tyus Jones will absolutely be someone who can impact winning for the Miami Heat. And that's why I'm trading for him. But that's my answer, right? I'm trading for Tyus Jones. But coming up, I want to detail what a potential trade will look like. I have 2 trades that really catch my eye here, that one's a little bit outlandish, one's a little bit more reasonable. We'll break those down in just a second. But first, shout out to Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports platform in North America. And you can get a $100 first deposit match when you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS. It's daily fantasy made easy because all you got to do has picked 2 to 6 player stat projections. Pick more than or less than, and you can watch the winnings roll in. I got my eyes on the new year with a nice little Sixers Bulls matchup tonight. I got more than Kobe White's points, rebounds, assists. He's been playing well lately. And I'll take more than on Tyrese Maxey PRA as well. 2 selections, that's 3 times my money. You can take my picks, you could fade my picks, but make sure you use that $100 first deposit match when you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS. All right, trade idea number 1. It's a little bit of a expanded deal, but it's actually tough to match salary with Tyus Jones, if we're going to be honest. He's got 1 year left on his deal, so that is one drawback of trading for Mr. Jones, is that he's going to hit free agency after this season. But hey, maybe you can lock him up to be the point guard of the future. So you get Tyus Jones, Danilo Gallinari, and Mike Muscala to match Kyle Lowry's $29 million. Listen, let's just call a spade a spade. Gallinari and Muscala aren't really going to play. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if the Heat if they made this exact trade, right? If they get those players, wouldn't be surprised if they just waive them or buy them out, because they're not going to impact this roster. They are specifically in this deal right now to be able to match Kyle Lowry's $29.7 million salary, because when you try to match Tyus's 14, well, it's tough to really get there without using like Caleb Martin or Nikola Jovic. And listen, that's a little too much to give up for Tyus Jones. So give up Lowry, you give up an unprotected 2027 first-round pick, and you get Tyus Jones and I guess some role players that you'll probably buy out. Before we get to my second trade offer, make sure you guys are subscribed, because as the trade deadline is a month away, no one will cover Miami Heat trade rumors better than us on YouTube. So hit that sub button. We're almost at 7K subscribers. Let's get there before the trade deadline. I believe we can. And like I said, we also do live watch parties throughout the season, including one tomorrow night against the Los Angeles Lakers. So join the channel today. All right, the second trade, let's get nuts. But this is one that could really put the Heat potentially over the top. The Heat get both Tyus Jones and Daniel Gafford. We give up Lowry. We'll still give up a first-round pick. But we also throw in a 2029 first-round pick that is lottery protected. And I want to make that abundantly clear that that is very important to me. Because in 2029, if the Heat don't trade for like a young star and say it is just Tyler, Bam, and Jaime, listen, I'm very bullish on their futures, but there is a legit chance that that build could not really result in wins. So having that pick be lottery protected in 2029 will probably help us out in the future. But you might look at this trade, right, and say 2 first-round picks? Why would we trade 2 first-round picks if we're not getting an absolute star player? Well, sometimes you have to realize that the star player is not out there and just make a move to help you win right now. And there is no other move, to me, that solves the 2 biggest issues for the Miami Heat than that deal you just saw right there. I'm being dead serious. You get Daniel Gafford, which we know the biggest issue for the Miami Heat is backup center. Gafford is a starting caliber center in this league. It's a long shot that you can play the 2 of them together, and 2 of them, I mean Gafford and Adebayo, but having Gafford on the bench to come off and play 15 to 16 minutes in the postseason would be absolutely massive. He protects the rim. He rebounds. He can finish. He can run the good pick and roll. Gafford would help the Heat in so much. And just to look at this, yesterday's game against the Clippers, Thomas Bryant subbed in for 3 minutes and was a -10. The guy stinks. We don't have a backup center. Gafford solves that. And obviously Tyus Jones also helps us in the point guard role. Lowry has been playing good this year, but a younger, more agile defender who can also shoot the rock at the same clip and not turn the ball over and not throw hospital lobs to Bam and Jimmy Butler, which for some reason Kyle Lowry loves doing. I think this could be the move that gets the Heat over the top. But the main reason why is Daniel Gafford. Y'all know how much I want him on the Miami Heat roster. So I want you guys to pick a trade for me. You saw the first one. The Heat get Jones, Gallinari, Muscala for Lowry and a first. And then the second one I just kind of went in detail about, where you get Tyus Jones, Daniel Gafford for Lowry, a first, and another first-round pick, which is lottery protected. Pick the trade for me. Which one would you prefer, the first one or the second one? Let that answer fly down in the comment section. As you guys might have seen, I'm going all in on picking number 2 because I do think Daniel Gafford provides something for Miami that really they desperately need, which is a backup center that the defense and offense would not go from here with Bam Adebayo to all the way down here. Whenever Bam comes off the court, you always hold your breath to hope the Heat don't give up a 14-4 run or something like that, because it seems to happen way too often. Gafford would eliminate most of those because he's able to play defense and he's able to finish around the rim. That's going to do it for today's video. If you made it through the end of the video, hit that sub button because you obviously like what we're doing. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we're covering the Heat trade rumors up to the trade deadline better than anyone. So hit the sub button, don't miss a thing, and I'll see you on the next video.